that all right?
No, it's going down.
It's going down? Well, how much do you weigh? You got rocks in your pocket or something? You're sinking. Don't worry about it. You'll be just fine. We only got a couple minutes more, right? Okay, now we're going to do this top 10 list. This is when we get really funny now. Whoa! Well, sorry.
See?
Yeah, I see now. Okay. You know, the guy's probably got money. And then we did this.
If I were a rich man, yabba dabba dabba yabba dabba 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 do.
Sounds like the Flintstones. I, Floyd, R, Turbo, and the R stands for real deal. And I am an American patriot, Kenosha citizen. On the bank of the harbor stood Mayor Bosman, young and brave. On the other side of the harbor stood a warrior, just as brave, Jimmy Cruiser. You guys got one more song, and then you can, I guess then this wraps it up boy, I got nothing left here. So anyway, we'll see you all next week, and we'll go back to Unplugged here. Morning, Kenosha. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the Kenosha Today Weekend Report. Coming to you live from Studio A here at WIP AM 1050 on your radio dial. 250 megawatts streaming across the snowy and very frozen tundra of the Midwest, reaching out to over 50,000 homes here in the Tri-County area. And joining us, as he does each and every Saturday morning, fresh back from bringing aid and comfort to the folks in the 17th District of South Florida, little Stevie Casey is back showing off his tan lines in the house.
Good morning, Kenosha.
No.
How the heck are you, Mr. Barter?
Well, I got to ask Ron and Pete, do we really want to see these tan lines, Ron? You got a shot of this? Take your glasses off.
Yeah.
I was called to South Florida to help with some flood damage down there.
You know, you got to be one superhero. First, you help out the residents here in the 17th District, and when they were all socked in with just about an inch of snow a couple of weeks ago. But now...
Five-eighths of an inch. 5/8 of an inch.
But now this week, your actions are just beyond the three-point arc.
I was called by the governor of Florida.
I know. You took your talents along with 4 boxes of stale Girl Scout cookies, by which I might add, have not made an appearance in this studio here. But I guess, Pete, when we're in crisis mode, we all got to make sacrifices. Right?
I was in Key West, Florida, helping with some potential flood damage down there.
Yeah,
and,
but so now, for you listeners that haven't heard, little Stevie brought aid and comfort to the residents, like he said, to the 17th District in South Florida, and Shazam, all the snow in Key West is gone. Kaput. Not 1 inch, not one
Listen,
piece
they
of
were
snow.
there's not any snow down there, and I saw to that.
And I don't know what your secret is, but we obtained the audio. At first it was on AP, and then it was CNN.
Right, yeah. It made the rounds.
Here's the call
Oh, here
that
we
went
go.
out in
Here
Key
we
West
go.
this past week.
Help! I need somebody. Help! Not just anybody. Help! You know I need someone. Help! When I was younger, so much younger.
Oh boy!
A song is more than 1,000 words.
Did
right?
I miss another production meeting?
Yeah, and
You miss every production
meeting.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you, I get a call last night. I'm already in bed, mind you. You know, my microphone is...
You're drooping.
Droopy.
I'm drooping.
Just hang on to it.
I get a call last night. I'm already in bed, and it's from my co-host here, or the host. I'd like to think of myself as just a visitor, by the way. I'm not a co-host.
That's how we think of it.
And he
Just
says,
passing through.
he says the first voicemail earlier this week was when I was in Key West was we've got Sheriff Beth joining us this morning, and I was excited about that. And I got a voicemail late last night. I got bad news for you. I got bad news for Sheriff Beth. And I couldn't even figure out who it was at first. It was about a 9:30 voicemail. Sheriff Beth is not going to make it. Bring your A game.
Sounds like the ghost of Harry Carey.
And I listened to it again. I said, bring my A game. I don't have an A game.
And joining us as he does each and every Saturday morning, our video coordinator and former wardrobe advisor to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Captain Ron Muttersbick joins us. And
Captain Ron.
And engineering the Kenosha State train wreck this morning, the former Kenosha trolley driver and 6-time WIP Employee of the Month. It's currently on hold. He's also serving as head engineer for Kyle Flood's leg monitor. Pistol Pete joins us this morning.
And that's a
Pistol Pete.
24/7 job.
That's
I'll
a
tell you right now.
24/7, 24/7.
Speaking of calling you, did I call you this week? I called you the week before.
The week before you called on the air. You called.
Well, then I guess that woman I was talking to and wanted to charge me $100. I guess that was for something completely different.
We don't charge you to talk to the radio.
You oughta. Hey, and speaking of Kyle Flood, we have our own Kenosha Today investigating team. We're not just a couple of chumps that sit down here on Saturday morning with nothing.
Oh,
to do.
no.
And so
we're very organized on Saturday.
Anyway, we were able.
We all lined up for the donuts. Single file.
We were able to track down Kyle Flood and found out exactly what he's been up to these days. And lo and behold, we discovered he's teaching this new class. Pete.
Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Make you wanna.
Now, come on.
Burns your tummy, don't you know? Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug.
What can I say?
Boy.
It's an elective.
I'm going to start attending these production meetings, and I'm going to point you in the right direction.
Oh, yeah. Hey, one quick note. This program is being video recorded. We're going to play on Time Warner Cable's Channel 14 on Mondays at 3, Tuesdays at 5 p.m., and Thursdays at 8 a.m.
So tune in to see my tan lines if that's what you'd like to do.
You better brace yourself. Have a couple shots of whatever.
That's quite the selling point.
That's quite the selling point. Yeah. Talk about promo, right? There's even more good news, boys and girls. Tomorrow at noon, each and every Sunday, you can tune in WLIP AM 1050 and hear the replay, with the exception of tomorrow, because of the WLIP Rotary Auction. We've been moved back to 5 p.m. And, by the way.
They must like us.
Who's they?
Well, I mean, if they're going to replay us.
Well, sure.
Now, I got a question I got to ask again. I think the reason they like us is because you write the check every week, correct?
I do, and it clears.
Now, I have been told, like I said, I've been told, I can't verify this for certain.
Oh, we can.
But I have been told that if you do not write the check and you're a host of a radio show on a Saturday morning, if you do not write the check, they pull you off the air. Is that correct?
That's shameful. We're going to take a call. Hey,
you know what? That joke never gets old in my mind.
It's the problem. It's in your mind. Let's take good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Yeah, Dale from Kenosha. I just need to know one burning issue here. Did you guys write the check this week? Because I do not want to see you guys disappear like somebody else.
You said you're from Kenosha?
Yeah.
We don't care where you're from, do we?
I don't even care where I'm from.
But we did write the check, and we're pretty consistent with that because, Dale, I have been told that if you don't write the check, they actually take you off the air.
Yeah, I kind of think that happened at one point in time.
Now that's all speculation on your part, Dale. I can either confirm or deny that.
I have no memory of any of this, of course.
All right, you got a comment or anything, or was that it?
No, that was it. I just want to make sure you guys are just keeping up with the checks because I really think you guys have a great show.
Hey, I appreciate Dale. Right out of the blocks. That's a great comment, and I appreciate you looking out for us.
Hey, Dale, if you think this is good, how long you been in treatment?
Quite a while.
I can tell. All right, thanks. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too.
Hey, speaking of Expo,
was that your brother?
No. Pete's going to be at the Expo in the WLIP booth tomorrow at 2 to 4?
2 to 4 on Sunday.
The Expo's going on today, too, right?
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. Okay. So if you're listening on the 5 o'clock replay, you missed it. But go back in time and get there. 2 to 4 Sunday afternoon.
I'm going to go out there and see him.
You're going to go out and see him?
Yeah.
Am I required to be there as part of my
required
as part of my contractual agreement? Because the only thing I understand that's in my contract is donuts, which I'm holding in my hand, coffee, which I'm holding in my other hand, and the ability to talk about whatever I want.
We're going to start taking your calls, 262-694-1050.
Hey, how many weeks is this?
Oh, we're past November, December, January, February.
Doesn't it feel like every time we come on the air on Saturday morning, it's like our first time on the air?
It shows.
In other words, we've progressed nowhere.
That's right.
Because why? Because this is the show about nothing.
I told Pete early on, we like to start slow and taper down from there. No sense peaking too early. If we peaked and brought our A games in here every Saturday, they'd expect, that from us.
I got bad news for you. Sheriff Beth can't make it.
Wow, Harry Carey live at the ballpark.
And take a call. You've got to bring your A game tomorrow. My A game.
Let me bring a call. Okay. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning, guys.
Oh, Shirley.
Hi.
Hey, Shirley, I was in Key West this week wearing my bikini briefs on the
heard
beach.
that. Wow.
Actually, my wife surprised me for my birthday, and we bought a package and went down to Key West. I really wasn't down there helping with any FEMA efforts. That's just a joke.
Right. Yeah.
But you really went down there, though.
I
right?
really did. In fact, tune in and watch us on Cable 14. You can see my tan lines.
Oh, I
Hey,
will.
Shirley, here's the bad part of Steve going down there. You know what the bad part is? He came back. Hey, we got our dedication song for you. Ready, Pete?
Yeah, I'm ready. Here we go.
Go ahead.
I guess you say what can make me feel this way, my girl, talking about my girl.
Oh, that's nice.
we
Shirley,
love
I got a question for you though, Shirley. Now, last week you weren't feeling so well. Are you moving along, progressing?
Yep, knock on wood. I got to go to Lighten Up with Lenny last night.
Oh, now where was he last week?
Coins.
Last night.
Last
He was
night at Coins.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not
and we
allowed.
had such a good time. They are such sweet people. Very nice
Yeah,
place.
I'm not allowed. My wife doesn't allow me to play with Lenny anymore.
No.
No. No.
You know, you heard I don't get allowed to go out when the streetlights go on, and Steve will tell you why, because I called him last night. And he's got this CNN audio clip. Go ahead.
You know, if Steve was the radio professional, he would have kept the message. And
You
then
know-
we would have, at the production meeting, had that
the radio professional Pete, what are you talking about?
to play and to share with the
Shirley,
audience.
now we were supposed to have Sheriff Beth on this morning, but apparently his wife pointed out he had another commitment.
Oh,
So he
his
couldn't be here.
mother-in-law is a really good friend of mine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
Uh-huh.
his parents are, I like his parents very much as well.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
he's very
He's going to
good,
join us in
very
a couple
nice.
weeks.
He's going to join us in a couple weeks, but I get this message from my co-host, Scott Barter, last night at about 10 o'clock, and it kind of sounded like this. Hey, Steve, Sheriff Beth can't join us tomorrow. Bring your A game. Shirley, I don't have an A game.
All right, sweetheart.
Your show is good anyhow.
All right, thanks.
Yeah,
Have a
I
good
was
weekend.
so
Get
happy
better.
I got the call. Lip off last night, but I couldn't hear. They could hear me, but I couldn't hear them. So I just said a few things, and that was it. But
You realize you were on hold for most of what you said, right? We got like the last 2 seconds of it.
really,
Yeah, you got to blame Dan. That I don't, I don't have any control
Dan.
on that show.
yeah, my friend heard me, and she said you were laughing because didn't say much. Well, I couldn't hear you guys. I know you could hear me, but there was so much music and noise going on there. I just thought, well, I got to call and say hi. So.
All right,
you
baby.
heard me a little bit anyhow, right?
Well, better luck next week.
yeah.
All right, thanks, dear.
I just got a message from a good friend of mine. He said to say hello to everybody out there.
Who's
There, I did it.
Well, hello, friend.
Hey, let me read a couple sponsors before we continue this riveting conversation. Last week, there was a number of Voice of the People articles, all supporting Kevin Matheson.
He's my alderman.
Okay, but all of these articles said, and I just highlighted one, although I do not live in the 8th District. What's going on here?
Well, I don't understand. I think up to a certain point you can put whatever you want in the Voice of the People.
Yeah.
That's always, to me, been, quite honestly, the sign of a desperate candidate. You know, now the firefighters came out with their endorsements. We'll talk a little bit about this, but Kurt Wicklund is running against Kevin Mathewson, and I personally am supporting Kurt Wicklund. And we can talk more about that if you'd like. But
well, here's what we're going to do. The group Kenoshans for Open Honest Government has sent out to what our membership's a little over 200, the ballot for city council and school board and a referendum question: should the streetcar be extended? Yes or no? And for those aldermen that are running unopposed, we put either you can check you like the alderman or disapprove of job performance. And since I guess it's fair game now to endorse people, and even though we don't live in that district, we'll come out on the Saturday before the election and read.
yeah,
what
I mean,
we're doing.
Voice of the People letters really don't vote. I mean, it just they're trying to candidates who deluge the Kenosha News with Voice of the People letters and things like that. It's just a way to kind of generate some momentum. I never really tapped into that. I mean, you win and lose an election on the doorsteps. Kurt is out there working real hard. He's a sensible guy, and the best part of his candidacy is he is not a part of the Fabulous Four. And I don't think there's any room for the Fabulous Four down at City Hall. I'm vocally and anxiously working against the Fabulous Four in this election. And if your alderman is a member of the Fabulous Four, I'd recommend you vote for the opponent.
Boy. See that vein popping out again?
It's funny. There's a tan line right by the vein, too, for some reason. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, I can say that, right? I can say on the radio who I want to vote for.
You can. You're a private citizen. You can do whatever you'd like.
I'm just one man. Just one man.
Really?
We may run a disclaimer
I'm the
before
size,
this show.
I'm the size of 2.5.
2.5
men, but I still only get one vote.
Yeah.
Dancing out there.
Kenosha. For you, they could.
I don't know if any of us would know that answer.
You know, I got to tell you something else. Who cleans the bathrooms here?
Who wants to know?
Yeah. What's the problem?
Well, I'll tell you what. As you know, I come in, I get my cup of coffee. I always have to go to the little boys' room. I just went to the little girls' room because it's much cleaner than the little boys' room. You guys who work at the station here, I think, are pigs.
Well, it goes without saying.
The bathroom is atrocious. The garbage is overfilling. The toilet needs cleaning. There's dirt on the floor.
You got that toilet thing? I said nothing says Kenosha today more than the sound of... What do you want?
Well, here's an idea. Can somebody, if John Perry or somebody, can you send somebody in to clean the boys' room for heaven's sakes?
The building is due to be cleaned at about 11:30 this morning.
Okay, well, John Perry, if you're listening, call in. For heaven's sakes, the bathroom is a mess.
I think
your male employees at the radio station are pigs.
Well, that like I say, that goes without saying. I happen to know that the cleaning lady of this building listens to this show on a weekly basis.
Well, I got to tell you, I think
every second of it is
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you right now. She's doing a wonderful job because the little girl's room is spotless.
Right.
Well, that's good. She does a wonderful job.
The cleaning lady
All I can say is that if she comes in and cleans the bathroom at 11:30, probably by noon, it's a pigsty again.
It's the reason why it's after this show.
But here's my point.
Are we really talking about?
You brought it up. No, here's the deal. You want to go to the women's bathroom? Have that sex change and get on with it.
No. It's a single seater, each bathroom, for heaven's sakes.
Oh, God.
But the men's room is atrocious.
As much as the ladies don't like it, we treat them as unisex bathrooms.
Okay. Can I get on with this?
Okay. Do we have something else?
Something more important? What?
I got a couple sponsors.
They all donate to causes. They all do wonderful things. When my wife was involved with Relay for Life, we showed up out of the Brat Stop. Jerry Rasmussen, without asking a question, donated all kinds of gift certificates to Relay for Life. Just a great guy, Jerry Rasmussen, and Jim Matzer, and all the fine people of the family-owned sponsorships that we have.
Hey, let's throw out a couple topics if everyone wants to call us at 262-694-1050. This week, a city panel backs faster action on ethics issues. This was, I guess, sponsored by Alderman Bostrom. He says he wants the ethics committee.
So he wants to be found guilty sooner.
Because
he was the first alderman that was found guilty of violating the ethics
this
ordinance.
goes through. I guess they voted so within. You have to take up complaints within 15 days. In his case, yeah, he would have been found.
He would have been found guilty that much sooner.
2 months earlier.
There we go. Which probably makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, can we talk about something else? We got.
Well, you want to talk about?
Well, we got big news. The firefighters came out this week with their endorsements.
All right, let me read a couple sponsors, and so I want to get them in before the break. Before we go to the break, and before you talk about this other, and we'll play Spin the Donut.
Are we halfway through already?
Yeah. Mercifully.
we haven't spoken about. We haven't really spoken about anything.
Because he wanted to rant about the men's room for 20 minutes.
5 minutes left doing that.
I got to tell you, I'm going to have to post. Do we have a Facebook page, you and I, or no?
No.
Do we have any kind of an internet thing or not? Because I need somewhere to post my recipes.
Isn't this bad enough? What do you want to do that for? Hey, did you see where actress Sheila McRae from The Honeymooners? She died at 92. She was Alice Cramden. I read this.
To the moon.
Yeah. Remember how Ralph would say,
to the moon.
Boom, shoom, you're to the moon, Alice. And I thought, could you get away with that with your wife? Hey, honey, to the moon?
Yeah, exactly. No comment.
Oh, see, now
he's pleading the fifth.
Jackie Gleason, the show Everybody Loves Raymond? Who was the brother, the tall brother? That's
Brad Garrett.
Brad Garrett. I was always told that Brad Garrett was Jackie Gleason's son.
Okay, who told you that?
The lady in the bathroom.
The lady in the bathroom.
But I don't think he is.
Okay.
I don't think he is. But doesn't he kind of look like Jackie Gleason? He's got the same mannerisms and that. Yeah.
Hang on, we're gonna go to the internet and find out.
All right. Hey, we've got a couple topics. If you want to call us in today's paper, the dog park that was supposed to be over by the Southport Beach House, looks like it's going to be proposed to move to Anderson.
And I think the residents of the Southport neighborhood lost out. to be honest with you, by having it moved to Anderson Park. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I told you before. I think the city should just lease out that building to that grouug like they do Simmons Field. Let them do whatever they want with it, but make us money.
Hey, good for Alderman Rosenberg. Saw an opportunity to deliver something to his district, and that's what he's doing.
And I think Przansky is isn't he?
And
He's
Dan
North-
Przansky is
yeah.
part of it because I believe his district borders the dog park. If one of them are listening, maybe they can call and give us more specifics. But understand Keith Rosenberg did what he was supposed to do. He went door to door. He asked the neighbors whether they minded that, whether they wanted it. The response was overwhelming. And he's introducing a resolution to put the dog park at Anderson Park. I think it's a beautiful move. And it's great that Alderman Rosenberg is delivering something to the people of the 9th District.
Also this week, right before we go to break, another topic, Alderman Bigdala making a big issue of this little damage to
let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, we can do it when we come back. And, like they've already had bids to redo some of that. And so...
Oh, yeah, big article in the paper that the floor is damaged to the point where it's a safety issue at the fire station on 142 and Washington Road and 22nd Avenue. What's really interesting about that, Scott, is... I happen to know that the city brought in an independent engineer, I believe, in February to walk through the fire station, give his opinion, and this is a guy who's got 30 years experience, and ruled that, there's some work that needs to be done, but it absolutely does not pose any kind of a danger or a safety issue for any of the employees or the firefighters. But, of course, that's not good enough for Alderman Bigdala.
Well,
because with his clearly he's got an engineering degree from somewhere.
Well, as opposed to our filthy bathrooms, that's about in the same plane, isn't it? There's a good comparison.
No, I'm trying to now. Now
I got to make him a pot of coffee. Now I got to spray down the bathroom for him before he comes in. I mean, come on.
I'm trying to take this into a serious mode, and right away you take it back to the toilet.
So let's get off the toilet, and I'll let you know that
let's get off the pot.
I have Brad. Thank you. I have Brad Garrett information for you.
Okay,
he is not. He is not.
He's not.
He is the son of Barbara and Al Gerstenfeld from Woodland Hills, California.
I always thought that he was Jackie Gleason's son.
Apparently not.
We have a minute break.
Yes.
All right, and we'll be back in the first call. We're going to play Spin the Donut. Good morning, Kenosha. If you just tuned in, this is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the Kenosha Today Weekend Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at WIP AM 1050 on your dial. 250 megawatts streaming across the snowy and very frozen tundra of the Midwest.
What is a megawatt?
Reaching out.
A lot of power.
A lot of power. You know what that means? That means they got extra tinfoil in the antenna here at WIP.
We have 2 hamsters here.
Yeah.
Running the deal.
Joining me, our co-host back from another one of his great humanitarian efforts, where this week he was able to get rid of all the snow, not just some, but all the snow in South Florida, and the residents of the 17th District, Key West, are mighty thankful.
Yes, I was supervising snow removal in Key West as I was doing in Whitecaps.
And if you missed it at the beginning of this morning's program, here was the audio from that we obtained from CNN this week, highlighting little Stevie's efforts.
Help! I need somebody. Help! Not just anybody. Help! I need someone. Help! When I was younger, so much.
Also with us this morning, video coordinator Captain Ron Muttersbach, and our engineer for this morning's train wreck, Pistol Pete Sargent. All right, we're going to take our first caller, and this is Kenosha's hottest, fastest growing radio game show sensation, the lightning round of Spin the Donut, sponsored by Super Donut Dave Lighting and Little Debbie Donuts. Now, he was at a production meeting last night.
Now, I got a question.
Okay.
Is there an agenda, or is there, when are the production meetings?
You go outside.
And I'm not asking you that anything that I didn't have to ask the mayor from time to time. Now, when are the city council meetings? And what time do I have to be there?
Now, here's what we do. Here's how Ron and I do this. We go outside on the deck of the boathouse, and whichever way the wind's going, we go inside. We begin. It's pretty structured, don't you think?
Oh, that's pretty structured. And I got to tell you, this is listening to you is absolutely riveting.
Now I got to tell you something. For those that are on TV, you'll see this because John Perry called in and told me this is the Kyle Flood censor tape.
Which I can almost guarantee that John Perry doesn't use the men's room.
What do you think you are obsessed with the men's room?
Well, it's disgraceful.
Okay, do you see the people who work here?
Oh, yes, exactly.
Okay, so that should be self-explanatory.
I got to be honest with you. I don't ever want to be anywhere that Lenny Palmer was.
Ouch.
That's K-C-C-A-S-E-Y, Stephen.
Now, we don't have a caller, so we're gonna talk a little bit about this.
So everybody knows, we're taking the first caller's place, pin the donut. So if you want to go ahead and do whatever you got to do.
There we go. Well, the big news this week is the firefighters issued their endorsements, and surprise, surprise, the Fabulous Four got the endorsements of the local 414. Now, the really funny thing about this is, guys like Keith Rosenberg running against a guy named Peterson in his district, Kurt Wicklund running against the sitting alderman, Alderman Mathewson, Scott Gordon running against, who was he running against? The other guy. Those guys, Scott Gordon, Kurt Wicklund, Keith Rosenberg, got every single feasible labor endorsement that they issued. UAW, AFL-CIO, everything, the city union, everybody endorsed these candidates except 414. Now, the whole issue is this. If you're labor-friendly, you're going to get all the labor endorsements. Is there a hidden agenda going on with the 414 endorsement issue? Now, before I go any further into this, I need to say that I've got a lot of close friends who are firefighters. I've always been a supporter of the rank and file firefighters, police officers, things like that. For years, as you know, we used to hold a parade for the firefighters. Their Pipe and Drum Association, we used to have a big St. Patrick's Day fundraiser, did that for 5 or 6 years, raised thousands of dollars for them. But I got to tell you, the leadership of 414, meaning the executive committee, I think they've really devalued what an endorsement means, because clearly they're using this endorsement as a reward or a punishment. Do you think it's any secret, or do you think it's any coincidence that the Fabulous Four got the endorsements of 414 and their opponents did not? Of course not. I think the credibility of the 414 endorsement is gone right down the toilet.
Who's the name on what district?
Scott Gordon, the 11th.
Okay, but Kevin Matheson's running against Kurt Wicklund.
Kevin Mathewson got the endorsement against Kurt Wicklund. Kurt Wicklund got every other endorsement out there except 414. Now, do you think it's any coincidence that these guys, the Fabulous Four, are talking about the atrocious condition of the fire station on 22nd and Washington Road? Meanwhile, big article in the paper, it's danger to the firefighters, blah, 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 blah. An engineer comes through a couple of months ago and says, there's not an issue here. You're making a big deal about nothing.
How are their toilets?
Well, they're...
Hey, Steve, here. We're below the word Hawaii for the men's room here.
Hey, we're taking the first caller to play Spin the Donut. Give us a call, 262-694-1050. What we do is we read the sponsors off, and we got, if you're a winner, you can get a $10 gift certificate to the boathouse. Also, we were talking about some other.
The other issue with 414, you saw them, try to make a big deal about wanting to rediscipline the fire chief, Thompson, and that's right out of 414. That's right out of the leadership of them. And the Fabulous Four picked up the ball and ran with that. It's called double jeopardy if they try to discipline him again.
The city will lose our fanny on that law.
Well, exactly. I mean, if Thompson chooses to sue the city for double jeopardy, being punished twice for something that he did, I think he'll win the lawsuit. But again, here you got the leadership of 414 rewarding their friends and punishing their enemies. That means nothing. That's it's special interest at its finest.
Again, we're looking to take the first call to play Spin the Donut, 262-694-1050. Here's an article that appeared on Wednesday. Kenosha looks to market itself. They hired a firm to come up with a new logo, and that we have right now. Our tagline is "A great place for all seasons." I mean, real exciting stuff. But I mean, I guess they're going to try.
Well,
to
the logo on that's got smokestacks in it and everything else, which is kind of antiquated. There are no smokestacks anymore in Kenosha.
The contract with this group, DCI, is not to exceed $100,000 to come up with that. I don't know if that's.
I must have been down with concentrating on snow removal in Key West. When was that in the paper?
Wednesday. We got a call.
That was in paper.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning. Who are we talking to?
Tom from Pleasant Prairie.
Tom, we don't care where you're from. Just kidding. All right, you're going to play Spin the Donut with us? I hope so.
You bet.
Okay, I'm going to read the sponsors. Small Business Technology Solutions, House of Gerhardt, Bratstop, Kenoshans for Open Honest Government, Lee Plumbing, Boathouse, Kenosha Academy of Dance, Charlie V's Kids for Cancer Treatment, Shulseski Financial Group, and KRS Painting. And if you win, you will hear, and if you get the incorrect answer, you will hear. Impressed so far?
I am.
Okay, what's your guess?
All right, I'm going to go with one of my favorite restaurants, House of Gerhardt.
House of Gerhardt.
Now,
okay.
how did I know you were going to say that, Tom?
I don't know. I just
All right, wait a minute. We got
love the beef stroganoff over there.
All right, you got it. Now we're trying to build up the act here.
The winner is.
The winner is Small Business Technology Solutions Incorporated. Tom. Sorry
Now,
to-
Tom, no doubt you've had the strip steak over there.
Oh, well.
Have you had the strip steak over at Gerhardt's? I know you have.
No, I can't get past the stroganoff. I get that same thing every time I go.
Well, you know what? I get the same thing every time I go. It's New York strip steak, and I request gorgonzola cheese on the top, and they melt it just a little bit. Man, it's just fabulous.
Do you have
That is a fantastic restaurant. Not enough people go.
Do you have a question or comment on anything?
Nope, just wanted to try my luck.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry about
Thanks,
this.
gentlemen.
Thanks, Tom.
Trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to
All right. That's,
Okay,
that's about enough.
You know, it's funny this whole endorsement thing. People feel strongly one way or another. As a candidate, serving, by the way, 22 years on the city council. Did I point that out?
Once or twice, you mentioned it in passing. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today. Do we have a caller?
so.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning, gentlemen.
Okay, who are we talking to?
I'm George from Kenosha.
Oh, we don't care where you're from either, George. So what do you want?
Everybody that was lined up with Lenny they got a real treat.
Sounds
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're still there.
What did they get, George?
They got to see a 1965 Bradford High School picture of Lenny Palmer.
George,
Oh, no
George,
kidding.
our phones are cutting out.
Hey, George,
sorry
thanks.
about this. Thanks.
Hey, George, we had a bad
that's
connection.
Bad, sorry. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today. Oh, there it is. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
It's still there.
Hello? Oh.
No, that
Oh.
was the
Oh.
that was the dial tone.
Was that? Do you think that was the cleaning lady?
Yes.
yeah. Now we're gonna get prank called by the cleaning lady.
Boy,
Super.
Doesn't get any better than this, Stevie.
I happen to know that the cleaning lady is more clever than just needing a dial tone.
I think in the beginning when I first ran in '88, I wanted to get every endorsement possible out there. Thought that was a big deal. Towards the end, I didn't care who endorsed me or not, because you know what? You need one endorsement, and that's of your constituency, and you need to get every other vote. This is what who used to tell me this? I think it may have been Joe Andrea. He used to tell me that you had to get every other vote that came in, and then you had to vote for yourself, and you'd win.
Now how do you value endorsements? Like the Kenosha News is going to come out and do their.
Well,
what
it
is
used
their
to be when I first got into the politics back in the 80s. The Kenosha News endorsement actually was the kiss of death.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
they had a track record of supporting all the losers, And I think the only endorsement that I got consistently every single time was the Kenosha News and the Policemen's Association.
Do you think the people like the Kenosha News? Do you think us, or we aren't really on the same par? We are private citizens, and if we want to, say who we're going to.
Well, I've
we're
always
able to
said,
do that, but
even when I was on the city council, I used to tell people, don't vote according to endorsements. It's important that endorsements come out, but don't vote according to endorsements, and don't vote on a single issue. Don't let a single issue candidate, be elected, because you got to look at the big picture.
You think the Kenosha News should stay out of the endorsement business? Let people, they're smart enough. Let us figure it out.
Well, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and they're gonna endorse candidates. It'll be interesting to see, where they fall out as far as the Fabulous Four. And of course, I've been a very vocal. Bill Lawrence and I coined the phrase "the Fabulous Five," about 5 years ago when we identified a group of aldermen who I didn't think was working in the best interest of Kenosha.
You know what I think we'll do is we'll take the Kenosha News endorsements after the election, match them up against ours and see how close.
Well, I just think it's so curious that, you've got a group of aldermen, the Fabulous Four, come out vocally in the last 6 months on the side of 414. The police chief,
Fire chief.
The fire chief fighting the fire chief issue, and now the floor at the fire station. And coincidentally enough, 414 now endorses those candidates, who are vocal on those specific issues. And like I said, guys like Keith Rosenberg, Kurt Wicklund running in the 8th District, who I'm adamantly supporting, and Scott Gordon got every single labor endorsement possible. But the only one they didn't get was the firefighters. You got to think to yourself, what's going on here?
We have a phone call. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Yeah, who's this Fabulous 4 and 5? It sounds like a band. Maybe they should get out of politics and start doing some music.
I hear you there. I hear you there.
You need to get back in there.
Who are we talking to?
Clean this place up.
What's your first name?
Smokestacks.
What's your first name?
Grady.
Greedy?
Grady?
Grady.
Yeah.
Grady.
Grady, let me ask you a question. If
Grady.
I ran for office again, would you vote for me?
I'd have to sit down with you and talk.
There you go.
See what you're...
And that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Get to know the candidate. Absolutely right, Grady. Good for you.
And they got to, get the town hall meetings and stuff and let the candidates go out there and see what their real intentions are. Okay, have a good idea.
Yeah.
Good
Thank you.
day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Grady. Good call.
Have another call. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today. Good morning. Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. Who is talking to?
Steve, this is me again, Dale.
Okay.
If you ran again, I'd vote for you in a heartbeat, even though I don't like you.
Do you live in his district?
No, I love you guys.
Do you live in his district?
Huh?
Do you live in his district?
That don't matter.
I'd vote for him in a heartbeat.
Now, Dale, I'm outside
you can write a letter to the paper for
outside
him,
of politics. I've been told I'm a fairly likable guy.
Oh, you are. You are, although you write a...
Don't hold back.
I do.
I would say that again, Dale.
I said, even though you ride a different type of bike than I do.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm on the Harley side.
I understand, Dale. I got to tell you, I can't afford a Harley yet, but I'll get there one day.
You're going to get there soon.
I'm going to get there soon.
I'll tell you what, if I win the lottery, I'm going to buy you one.
Oh, there you go. But it's got to be a trike. I think my next bike. I drive a Honda Shadow. You know that.
Yeah.
You see me.
It's a nice looking bike.
Yeah, it's a nice looking
The
bike.
person riding it, I don't know how nice looking.
Well,
it's
trekked out.
Good looking.
But I think my next bike needs to be a trike. I think I want to buy a Harley trike. What do you think of that?
I think you're on the right track because that's where I'm starting to look forward to.
Dale, the only way you can top this conversation if you're going to tell us that you have a meatloaf recipe. There you go. Oh,
do you? What's the secret ingredient to the meatloaf recipe?
The secret ingredient is bread.
Bread. Okay. I told you my wife.
You got to put bread in there, and you've got to in the crust too.
I'm sorry I brought this up.
Okay. My wife, Dale. My wife uses oatmeal instead of bread.
Dale, don't you got to be someplace?
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
When does your wife make a tuna casserole?
Okay.
Yeah, she has. She doesn't do that regularly.
Well, no, but I mean, there are two toppings on a tuna casserole. One is potato chips and one is cornflakes. What do you prefer?
Oh, I would prefer potato chips.
Hey, Dale, I think you got to be someplace, don't you? Don't you have to be someplace real quicker? I hear your wife. Isn't your wife there?
No, she's working right now.
Well, she's calling you. You better hang up and answer the phone. Start a call.
Hey, good talking to you, Dale. Now, listen, I got this great idea. It just came to me. I think every time... Is this on?
Unfortunately, it is. You're live on the air, yes.
I think what we need to do is I think we need to put together a Kenosha Today cookbook.
Awesome.
And every guest that comes on has to bring a recipe. All right. Hello, Scott. Are you awake? Hello, Scott.
The cover of the cookbook could be you, Stevie, in an apron, leaning over the stove, smiling for the camera.
No. Wearing an apron, driving a snowplow.
I feel like I did at 9:30 last night. Stevie, you know what we could do?
We could do a Kenosha Today cookbook.
How about a Kenosha Today calendar? We take 12 of the recipes, and we have a picture, a sponsor, something.
Well, I think that's a great idea, and I think we need to sell it. sell the cookbook or the calendar, and we need to pick a charity, and all the proceeds will go to that charity.
Go to Charlie Fee's Foundation.
Now we're just brainstorming right here. I think this is a great idea. I think we may be onto
You could also do Dr. Steve's Guide to a Clean Men's Room.
Yeah. That could be.
I tell you, do you want to go back to the bathroom? You want to go back to the bathroom?
The cleaning lady, she.
You said
I think she's going to call in.
You said this was brainstorming.
Well, this place is spotless. The ladies' room is spotless.
That's true. Yes.
Okay, the men's room is a pigsty.
You started the show on this issue, and it looks like we're going to finish on this issue. If you have a call or a copy, where am I at here? If you have a question or a comment, give us a call, 262-694-1050. Even if you have a dopey recipe, I suppose we could listen to that too. What else did you want to talk about?
I really don't like the way you devalue the things that I talk about.
Well,
you don't put any credit into my recipes. I show up here, I talk about just lighthearted things. I think this is a good thing.
I know, I agree.
Do you want to solve all the world's problems on a Saturday morning here at WLIP?
Speaking of,
or do you want to talk about meatloaf recipes?
Where are you heading this week? You going to? You've been to the 17th district here a couple weeks ago, and you went to South Florida and saved them. There's no snow.
No, I'm going to tell you something else. Now, this is something that I want to talk about. Do you wear your red shirts on Friday?
Do I wear red shirts?
No, that's a military thing.
I wear red underwear.
Anybody who wears a red shirt on Friday, that's supporting the wounded warriors.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
This Friday or every Friday?
Every Friday. Anybody who wears a red shirt on Friday, and that was pointed out to me by a good buddy, and he wears a red shirt every Friday.
Now, by the way, up and coming is St. Patrick's Day, and you always used to host this little.
We always supported the Kenosha Area Pipe and Drum Association, which are made up of firefighters, by the way.
Oh.
And for years,
now they'll be right at your house.
and the way it started, by the way, is they showed up at my house about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, and played for my Uncle Dick, who was dying of cancer. We had him over to our house. The bagpipers showed up, played in my living room, and they all showed up driving their individual cars and got to talking to him and said, this is a great thing, but you guys don't seem very organized. Well, we just do it as a little fun thing on St. Patrick's Day, and they only charged at the time, I think, $50 or $75, and to get a bagpiper to play at a funeral cost $200. So I got involved the next year. We actually secured a motor home. We got a bus donated from a group in Illinois, and we kind of organized this thing where they went around as a group from tavern to tavern, kind of like a pub crawl, charging the tavern owners, and then they would pass the boot to collect money. And gosh, I think last year I was told, I wasn't involved last year or the year before, but they would meet at my house, and of course then we would parade very innocently down to the Sunset.
Let's talk about how that worked out.
Well, it worked out well for about 5 years until one of the aldermen, who is no longer on the air on Saturday morning, I believe, now this is just my opinion, I believe he was the one that called and complained to the police chief, and they showed up and they actually wrote me a ticket for having an illegal parade. Get a load of that. An Irishman on St. Patrick's Day walking down the middle of the street. How unusual is that?
I tell you, your reign of terror in this community is over, Bubba.
Listen, I'm public enemy number one. I hosted a parade without a permit, which, by the way, I paid that fine. $127, and of course we don't have a parade anymore. Actually, and I probably shouldn't say this on the air, we do have a parade every year. It's just not well publicized anymore.
So what do we have to low crawl on all fours?
Well, basically what would happen.
Well, it's still not well publicized, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Well, we used to have, and then we would go from tavern to tavern. It was a very organized thing. I think the last year I was involved, I think they made $8,000 or $9,000. Now, these are the firefighters that do the honor guard and play the bagpipes at different honoring things and at funerals and things like that. So, big supporter of the firefighters. Always have been. My track record speaks for itself, even though I never ever got their endorsement of their leadership. And this has always been the disconnect with me. I get along with the rank and file, never got along with the leadership of 414. Doesn't make any difference. I was an alderman doing my job, and even though I didn't get their endorsement, doesn't mean I wouldn't support them for a fundraiser. But the leadership, I believe now, has really kind of devalued what an endorsement means. I support the individual firefighters. There's no question about that. I just think the leadership of 414 has kind of got a skewed skewed opinion of things, and I think they've got a private agenda.
We
That's
have
the
we
issue
have just
I
about a minute left. If you want to give us a call for
Now, if
one
I
last
have-
question, 262-694-1050.
If I have a parade next Saturday, will you come?
Lose my number.
You can have it right out in the parking lot. You can walk down the middle of the parking lot.
Oh, no,
I
no,
will
no.
be there.
Listen. If
We'll
I'm-
open that up
I'm
to
going
you.
to tell you right now, if I'm going to have a parade, it's going to be down the middle of 22nd Avenue, just like I've done every other year. And I will write the ticket. I will pay the fine, just like I did in the years in the past.
If we elect to forget paying the ticket and go to jail, I just want to know when the conjugal visit.
No, I don't. Well, listen, I wouldn't
That
go
is
to.
none of my business.
What I probably should have done is when they showed up, when they appeared at the Sunnyside Club and to write me my ticket, I probably should have shown them my badge.
Where was that, huh? See?
You left it at home.
I left it at home.
And you call this brainstorming for what reason?
I said badge.
No,
badges.
I know, but you were. You know.
I don't need to show you no stinking badges.
So we're going to be back next week.
St. Patrick's Day has always been a special day in the Casey family.
We should. We're going to celebrate next Saturday. I think. What do we elect to do? We're going to go from here to your house for lunch?
I think we may go to my house for a little corned beef, and then we may or may not have a parade.
Boy, that's real decisive thinking, Stevie. And if anybody wants to join us, bring some bail money.
Listen, just me and you and 400 of my closest friends.
Well, I don't have 400 friends. 4 of my friends. This is about the extent.
Can I make one request?
Make it
Can
real
I make
quick.
one request?
Real quick.
Do you see this microphone?
I see it. What
It's
do you want?
going up and down all over the place. You got dirty bathrooms and a microphone that doesn't work.
Because the cleaning lady's the same one fix that. So
Can we
I think it's going to happen for you.
Can we fix
And
the
that's
microphone?
going to about wrap it up for us here this morning.
Wait a
on
minute,
the
I'm
corner
not
of
done.
Happy and
I'm not
you
done.
are now. What went wrong? We thank all our sponsors and listeners for participating. We also invite everyone to join us again next week when we'll be back with more guests, more fun, more lively interviews. Just a reminder to tune in.
We'll have an
Channel
update on the
14.
parade. We'll have an update on the parade.
Wednesdays at 6:30 and at 6 p.m. for our television broadcast of the Kenosha Today show, and also on Sundays at noon, except for tomorrow we'll be on here at 5.
Is this still
with
on?
With this exception of tomorrow because... So from Studio A here at WLIP, this is Uncle Scotty Byron, and this has been...
I need somebody help, not just anybody help. I need someone help.
Is that all right?
No, it's going down.
It's going down? Well, how much do you got rocks in your pocket or something? You're sinking. Don't worry about it. You'll be just fine. We only got a couple minutes more, right? Okay, now we're going to do this top 10 list. This is when we get really funny now. Whoa! Well, sorry. Oh. Yeah, I see now. Okay, the guy's probably got money. And then we did this.
If I were a rich man, yabba dabba dabba yabba dabba 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 do.
Sounds like the Flintstones. I, R, Floyd, R, Turbo, and the R stands for real deal. And I am an American patriot, Kenosha citizen. On the bank of the harbor stood Mayor Bosman, young and brave. On the other side of the harbor stood a warrior, just as brave, Jimmy Cruiser. You guys got one more song, and then you can, I guess then this wraps it up boy, I got nothing left here. So anyway, we'll see you all next week, and we'll go back to Unplugged here.